If you're reading this, I need you to understand something right away. I never wanted to work the night shift at the safe zone. I didn't even know what the safe zone was. Not really. The job listing was vague, but the pay was good, almost suspiciously good for a security position in the middle of nowhere. I was desperate though. Rent was overdue, my phone was about to be cut off, and my fridge was empty except for a half-eaten takeout box and a bottle of ketchup. So, when the recruiter called and said I was hired, I didn't ask too many questions. I just packed a bag and took the bus out to the edge of town, where the safe zone waited. Asterisk, the first thing you notice about the safe zone is how ordinary it looks. A chain-link fence, a squat concrete building, a few security cameras blinking red in the darkness. There's a sign on the gate that says authorized personnel only, but it's faded and peeling, like nobody's bothered to replace it in years. The air smells like wet earth and pine needles, and the only sound is the distant hum of the highway. It's the kind of place you'd drive past without a second thought, never realizing what's really inside. Asterisk, my supervisor, a guy named Harris, met me at the gate. He was tall and thin, with a face like a hawk and eyes that never seemed to blink. He handed me a badge and a flashlight, then led me inside without saying much. The building was colder than I expected, the kind of cold that seeps into your bones and makes your teeth ache. The walls were painted a sickly shade of green, and the fluorescent lights flickered overhead, casting long shadows down the empty hallways. Asterisk, this is your station, Harris said, stopping in front of a small room, with a desk, a chair, and a bank of monitors. You'll be here from midnight to 8. Don't leave the building. Don't open the doors for anyone. If you see anything unusual on the cameras, call me. Otherwise, just sit tight and stay awake. Asterisk, I wanted to ask what he meant by unusual, but he was already walking away, his footsteps echoing down the hall. I sat down at the desk and tried to get comfortable, but the chair was hard and the room felt too small, like the walls were closing in. I glanced at the monitors, 8 black and white feeds showing different parts of the property. Nothing moved, nothing changed, just empty corridors, empty rooms, and the endless darkness outside. Asterisk, the first few hours were uneventful. I scrolled through my phone, played a few games, tried to ignore the way the building creaked and groaned in the wind. Every so often I'd check the cameras, but there was never anything to see. I started to wonder if the job was some kind of joke, a way for the company to pay someone to do nothing all night. Maybe the real danger was boredom. Asterisk, but then, around 2:30 a.m., I noticed something strange on camera 4. At first, I thought it was a glitch, a flicker of static, a blur of motion at the edge of the frame. I leaned closer, squinting at the screen. There was something moving just beyond the fence, something tall and thin, almost human but not quite. It stood perfectly still, just outside the pool of light cast by the security lamp. I felt a chill run down my spine. Asterisk, I reached for the phone to call Harris, but before I could dial, the figure was gone. Just like that. I stared at the screen for a long time, waiting for it to come back, but the feed was empty. I told myself it was nothing, just a trick of the light, maybe a deer or a shadow, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. Asterisk, the rest of the night passed in a blur of anxiety and caffeine. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that figure standing outside the fence, waiting. When Harris came to relieve me at 8, I almost told him what I'd seen, but something in his expression stopped me. He looked tired, older than he had the night before, and his hands trembled as he handed me my paycheck. Asterisk, get some rest, he said, his voice flat. You'll need it. Asterisk, I left the building and stepped into the pale morning light, feeling like I'd just woken from a bad dream. But as I walked away, I glanced back at the fence, and for a split second, I thought I saw something move in the shadows. I told myself it was nothing. I told myself I was just tired. Asterisk, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd made a mistake, that there was something out there, just beyond the edge of the safe zone, waiting for me to let my guard down.